Two Courageous Caterpillars, written by Anna Smithers, illustrated by Hannah Morgan. Swish, swoosh, swish, swoosh, swish, swoosh. Two little caterpillars rustled and crackled beneath the leaves of the forest floor. Swish, swoosh, swish, swoosh, swish, swoosh. They munched and they crunched, they chomped and they champed, until the flowers were gone. But I'm still so hungry, whined Blaze. Swish, swoosh, swish, swoosh, swish, swoosh. Two little caterpillars fell into a hole. Basil looked at the sky. It seemed a very long way away. How are we going to get out of this mess? He muttered. There is always a solution to a problem, said Blaze, and looked around frowning. There are lots of twigs here. Maybe we could build a ladder, he suggested. They tried and tried. They heaved and huffed, but the twigs were just too heavy. The two friends gave in and ate the leaves off the twigs instead. They munched and they crunched, they chomped and they champed all day, but they were still hungry. A loud hoo, hoo rang in their ears. Suddenly, a huge pointy beak darted again and again into the hole. I'm so scared, whispered Blaze. Basil trembled, but he took a few breaths, then shouted, Flap away, flap away, flap away, leave us alone. The hole was too deep and the beak was too short, and the owl flew away. Yay, you saved us, cried Blaze, jumping up and down. Weren't you scared? Yes, I was, like last week when a hedgehog mistook me for a midnight snack. But I took a few deep breaths and found my courage inside, Basil answered. And they took 5 deep breaths together. The two little caterpillars were worn out from worry, but their tummies were still rumbling. They munched and they crunched, they chomped and they champed all night and all day, growing longer and longer. Suddenly they heard a croaky noise. Ribbit, ribbit. 2 bulging eyes peered in as a wet tongue, almost as long as the hole, rolled out. Blaze's face turned white. Breathe, remember to breathe, Basil reminded him. And so he did. They hid under the biggest leaf. Hop away, hop away, hop away, roared Basil. A sour leaf got stuck to the frog's tongue and it hopped away. You did it again, Basil. Blaze threw his arms around his friend. We did it together, added Basil, his cheeks still red hot. Relieved, the two caterpillars went back to eating. They munched and they crunched, they chomped and they champed all night and all day, growing wider and wider. All of a sudden, a big pointy nose started to sniff around the ditch. Sniff, snuff, sniff, snuff. Basil's scream got stuck in his throat. The memories of the recent hedgehog encounter made him dizzy. Blaze flinched but saw his friend struggling. He took a few deep breaths and found his courage, fluttering in the corner of his tiny heart. He screamed through his fear, Move away, move away, move away. A sudden noise startled the hedgehog, and the pit-pat of its footsteps grew silent. The two happy friends went back to their feast. They ate and grew bigger and bigger, until one night the two little caterpillars weren't little anymore. There are no more leaves left to eat, cried Basil. We need to trust our bodies. We need to trust life. I think I'm finally full, gasped Blaze. Me too, and so sleepy, agreed Basil, yawning loudly. The two friends found the perfect place on one of the leafless twigs and hung upside down. They swung gently, side to side, side to side, side to side, creating the coziest cocoons until they fell asleep. Many nights and days passed, and then one magical morning, instead of 2 courageous caterpillars, 2 big beautiful butterflies emerged. Swish, swoosh, swish, swoosh, swish, swoosh. Their colourful wings flapped freely as they danced in the air to greet the rising sun.